Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is October the 16th, 2024, and today the topic is let me show you. Friends, look, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears, y'all. Oh, what a morning, what a journey I have been on this morning, man. I was up ever since, what time was it? I want to say 12:31 last night, technically, y'all. And I was going back to sleep on and off since then or whatever, but I was up for a long time. And at first, I was like, Lord, why am I up? And then around 12:40, I think it was, a horn started blaring in the neighborhood. And I just happened to look at the clock at the time, and it just kept going, boom, boom, boom. I was like, what? It's like, Lord, are you speaking to me through this horn? I know this stuff might sound crazy for those that maybe if you don't believe or this might be brand new to hear somebody say the God is speaking through a horn or through time and stuff like that. But these are the things that I've kind of gravitated to as I've been on this journey with the juice and doing daily studies and stuff like that. And because I would say Marcus Rogers was probably one of the first people to like help me to see this, for example, because he would say that like sometimes when he woke up at random times he would Google it and stuff, and so I started to do that. And once I started to do that, I started to see how the verses were, really resonating with my life and whatever. So I just was like, okay. And so since then, I've really been paying attention. And then like years into it, I came across this lady. Her name is Dana Ray. She's standing right here on YouTube. And she started talking about like the Strong's Concordance and whatnot. And so I looked into that and got that app and was started to see even more revelations from like different numbers and times and stuff like that. So I'm not into like numerology or nothing. But I try to be, I just try to look and just see, right? And those are ways that it helps me to see and hear the Lord more clearly. And so I've been on a journey this morning, y'all. So good morning to those of y'all that are there and saying good morning and things of that nature. I don't know if I'm going to tell y'all all the details about like, the different stuff that was being revealed to me, because I think a lot of it was like personal for me and my family and stuff like that. But I'll just say this. So after the horn thing, right? Next thing I know, I looked into the Bible verses of both, right? And then I ended up listening to, no, I ended up just kind of doing some research for my my room and stuff, because I said I want to get me some new furniture and stuff like that. So I started looking up stuff like that because I just was wide awake at that point, right? And so eventually, next thing I know, it's 4:00, which is the time I usually supposed to get up. And a little bit after that, I listened to the prayer meditation. So for those of y'all that don't know, I usually listen to this app. No, I'm not an affiliate or anything like that, but I try to share it with you guys because basically they give daily prayer and meditation. Yeah, mommy's giving daily inspiration, but they give like prayer and meditation, like a guided prayer meditation. I try to use it to help me just, woosah and just, give this time to the Lord, yes, and relax. So, so I listened to that, and then after that, that made me start having some questions. So, it mentioned Lot's wife in it, and it just made me think about the swift judgment that God gave, because I think the prayer meditation was talking about at some point, like sharing about like how God is patient and long suffering and all this different type of stuff. But then and then it mentioned Lot's wife or something, and I was like, now Lord, I get how people can get maybe scared of you, right? Because at the end of the day, like there are these Bible verses that talk about like swift judgment, like Uzzah, right? Like he was trying to just help pick up the the Ark of the Covenant as it was falling, and he got swift judgment for that. Lot's wife got swift judgment. So I'm like, I get people might be a little scared of you, but I know on one hand you want us to just, come to you and that you're long suffering and you're patient and so I'm like, I know you that stuff too, but Lord, so I'm seeking the Lord about that, right? Next thing I know, I'm asleep, right? And I'm having a dream. So I don't remember all the details, but the main parts I remember. Basically, when I woke up, well, my husband was in a dream. My son was in a dream. I might share some parts out. I feel maybe I'm supposed to. Shh. I'm talking about my dream right now. And so I'm looking all that stuff up, and it's resonating. I'm like, okay, all right, what I'm seeing, and what I was receiving was, and I felt like it correlated with the whole horn thing. So I was like, well, Lord, and I'm seeking God, like, okay, what does this have to do with the horn? And so I was basically, what I received from the dream, without going into all the details, was basically like, to be mindful, to be aware. There might be distractions, different things of that nature, but stay diligent, right? And I'm like, okay, Lord, well, I feel like I'm in a good place. I don't think that there's no issues happening right now, you know what I mean? Like, and stuff like that. So I was going deeper about all those different thoughts. And then I ended up going back to sleep again. So then I get woken up again because my husband's getting ready to leave. And then this guy got up, right? Soon as he came in the room, he's like, Mommy, I want to tell you something. I was like, oh, he must have had a dream too, right? And he did. He had a dream as well. Do you want to tell them your dream? No, because you
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
Are you going to tell them the dream you told me? Because when we told your papa, you switched it.
Okay.
Okay, he'll tell you his dream.
My dream was that ants were popping out. And they were having a parade. And me and Papa Jr. and Cameron was there. And they had boxes.
Can I help you, baby?
And then we opened one of them that had cones in them. We didn't want to do that one. We didn't want
Okay, hold on. You switching it. Okay. So basically what he told me this morning.
A ball.
NJ,
boom.
NJ, come on. No, that's not what. So this morning he tells me basically that he had a dream that he was at the church. It was him. He says he saw ants and they was having a parade and that they had a honeycomb and he ate some and it was sweet. He also mentioned that his dad was there and his two cousins was there too and they ate and whatever. And so I'm going deeper about both of them things. Like, I ain't saying I'm an interpreter or nothing like that, but I be like, when I hear symbols and stuff, I try to look that stuff up basically. And I was feeling in my spirit that it had something to do with my dream too, right? So first I look it up for him. It was talking about how ants is talking about wisdom and diligence, which I'm like, my dreams talk about diligence too. And then he said honey, which that's also talking about like God's provisions and blessings and stuff like that. And there was a point in my dream where, I was very joyful or whatnot and whatnot. So all of those things, right? All of those things, I felt like they were going together. So much so where I was like, Lord, did you speak to my husband too? so he had already left, but we had called him like, did you have a dream? Because both our dreams, like when I put them together and I was going deeper and I was interpreting and, getting interpretation and stuff like that, they were all correlated. Like Misty Roberts says, honeycomb is very prophetic, the ants and all that, right? And so, after all of that, like I said, this is hours of my morning, y'all, okay? So after all of this, I'm like, wow, Lord. And I was like, well, I know you got something to share with the people, I'm like, and so he led me back to the verses that I first came to. So when I first woke up, like I told y'all, it was 12:31. I think, no, wait. Yeah, 12:31 when I first woke up. So I went back to those verses. And the first one stood out to me for y'all. And then I went from there, and that's where my son, do not be a distraction now. Come on. That's where the juice came from today. So, y'all, we can go ahead and get into it. So the first verse that I felt led to share what was kind of the verse that led me to the conversation, or knowing that this was for y'all too, or at least some of this. It says 1 Corinthians 12:31. But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you the more excellent way. Now, this stood out to me after all of this. This stood out to me more than when I saw it this morning. And I would say this is a 911. So if y'all are here, because once I started writing down my notes, it was 9/11. So if y'all are here, this might be an important, and you're listening, whatever the case may be, this might be a word for you. Okay. So the reason why this stood out to me more after I had went through my journey and whatnot, and then I read that verse again, is because I want to say it was last week. Last week I was getting led, or the verses or whatever I was studying back then, last week, it was like things asking me to ask for more You know what I'm saying? More spiritual gifts. And I was like, well, Lord, I feel like I already got, the tongues and whatnot. And I can't remember if I told y'all how I came to tongues and how I got the gift. But long story short, it was one of my friends at the time, which he was somebody that I was interested in or whatever, but he was one of the guys that I thought could have been the one. But anyway, he was one of the first guys that I would have spiritual conversations with at that particular time. Yes, during the cultivation period, right? But anywho, and he just kept talking to me about, do you talking to us? Do you speaking to us? And I'm like, he just kept bothering me about it, though. I felt like every time we talked, he would talk to me about it. And I'm like, man, what? Like, I'm familiar with it. I'm not scared of it. Like, I grew up around it and stuff like that. But I never experienced at that time, and this again in my 20s, I hadn't experienced it up to that point. And he just was so diligent about it at some point that he ended up sharing one of Keith Moore's sermons with me. It was a video, and or the website at that time. And I went there, and finally one day I was like, let me look at this video he done sent me or whatever. So I'm listening to the sermon all about the spiritual gifts and stuff like that. And then afterwards, Keith Moore is like leading a prayer for it and giving us, encouragement on how to receive X, Y, and Z. And so I'm doing all the things, and then next thing I know, words is flowing. And that's the first time I received the spiritual gifts. And it was interesting because I want to say it was Saturday night. I'm praying in the spirit, and I felt led to do that. And then my husband got peeked his head in or whatever. And then it had came into my heart to ask him, has he received the gifts? And he said he hadn't yet. And I was like, you want that to be your birthday gift? But he was saying he felt like it was gonna be too long. But so he didn't start his journey yet. But basically, what I'm saying is last week I was felt led to ask for more gifts. And I'm like, well, Lord, is that greedy? You know what I'm saying? I already got tongues, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I felt led to go ahead and go forward. So I was like, well, Lord, help me to understand, to interpret the tongues, help me to, I guess, I know I joke about prophet lying and stuff like that, but I'm like, well, Lord, and because the more I was about to seek the Lord for interpretation, the Bible, I think it was Paul talking a lot about like, well, seek the Lord for prophecy is more important type of things. So I was like, okay, so I was like, start to pray for that too, right? And then all of a sudden this week, this verse is what I'm feeling. So what I'm saying to y'all is, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, if you have any of the gifts, then I guess God is saying, hey, ask for more, right? If you don't have any of the gifts, then God is saying, hey, ask me for it. Because he wants to show us things. He wants to talk to us and show us things. It seems like this is resonating with y'all this morning. So good. To God be the glory. Yeah, he wants to show us, y'all. And again, the juice is another living testimony for me, y'all. Like, the more I started to do this, the more I started to see how much God probably was trying to talk to me for years. Like, for years, he was like, it would be on my heart and mind. You need to study more. You need to pray more. And I would do what I would do, because I did a little video about this trying to explain this. But anyway, what I would do back then, before I started doing this, what y'all see now is juice. I just would, read the Bible verse of the day on the Bible app, stuff like that, and be like, woo, got your word. You know what I'm saying? But once I started doing this and started studying and started like paying attention to the time, paying attention to, different stuff, then that's when I started to really see how much God is speaking. Like, and he's speaking. And like, I mean, now when I first created, your daily dose of inspiration, I was like, Lord, you really gonna have me talking every day? But he had me talking every day about something different. And even if I come on here and share the same verses sometimes, it'd be a completely different word. So what I'm saying is, y'all, I'm not the only one he want to talk to at the end of the day. And anybody else that you watching online and the pastor and everything like that, he wants to talk to all of us, right? And I believe he has, things he wants to reveal. So again, if you hear, look, this is for you. In Jesus' name. That's what I believe. But anyway, let me give you guys these verses that were standing out to me, y'all. Jeremiah 33:3. It says, call to me and I will answer you, and I will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known. Listen, y'all, look, getting that revelation through my dream and my son's dream this morning was a beautiful experience, man. And it's still going, because like, right after me and my son was having our conversation, I happened to check my email, and a guest that I had previously, her episode ain't even came out yet, I don't think, But she just reached out and was like, hey, I was thinking about you and your son and, you know, homeschool. How's all that going? And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You got something to say to me? Like, you know, you got a word, you got some extra pieces of the puzzle, you know. And so it's interesting to go on this journey and to do this. I know it sounds crazy. Again, to those that it sounds crazy to, I'm sorry that you ain't getting the revelations. I hope that God can remove the scales and stuff from your ears and eyes so you can receive gifts too, okay? Because God is speaking out here and he wants to talk to us, and you just got to be open, right? Open to receiving the gifts and asking for more. Either way, I don't know where you are spiritually, whoever you are listening to the sound of my voice, but you know, if you don't have any gifts, ask for the gifts. If you have some already, I'm getting that God wants us to ask for more gifts. So y'all take it or leave it, but I hope you receive it. I ain't trying to drop bars out here, but okay. Let me give you guys another verse. John 15:15. It says, no longer. Wait. Amos, right? Okay, yeah, no, okay. So Amos 3:7, it says, for the Lord God does nothing without revealing his secret to his servants, the prophets. But here, the John 15:15, I think it goes deeper about what I just said. It says, no longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing, but I have called you friends, for all that I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. So, friends, I mean, yeah, we know that first verse is talking about that, okay, God is not going to do anything without revealing it to his servants, right? But then in that second verse there, it's telling us that, you know, he don't even look at us as servants no more, really. He's looking at us as friends and letting us know, you know, letting us in on the plan and things like that. And so that's why even with everything that's going on, right? I know we, you know, a lot is being revealed. We frustrated. We want justice for Allie, you know, all these different type of things, right? But those of us that are like truly walking with God, we can still be at peace even in the midst of the turmoil and the different things going on, because we know that either God's like, you know, revealing stuff to us, or, you know, just knowing that God is there and in control. And so again, you know, all these things, I hope that it encourages you and inspires you, y'all. Cause yeah, look, in my Jesus voice, he's saying, let me show you. Okay, are you receiving it, y'all? Come on, let me show you. He want to show you some stuff, y'all, and it's a beautiful thing to like just be open to it and see what he got to say. Like I said, the revelations I receiving about me and my family seems like it is a lot of hope. You know what I mean? Joy, peace, love, provisions for us, different things of that nature. As long as we stay diligent, right? As long as I stay diligent with the spiritual, you know, go for me and you know, our son, things of that nature, you know, praying for my husband and whatnot as he leads and guides, and, you know, that he grows spiritually and whatnot as well. And, you know, God is doing the work, y'all. And so, and again, I'm just saying, he ain't no respect the person. What he doing for me, he can do for you. And I guess that's the juice, y'all. That's the juice this morning. The Bible verse of today is Philippians 4:9. It says, those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and is seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you. Look, if that ain't confirmation, I don't know what is. But yes, y'all, that's the juice this morning. Yeah, y'all have a fabulous Wednesday, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.